We often talk about toppers and successful students as if they are born different, as if they were simply gifted with a special brain or extraordinary intelligence. But the truth is much simpler than that. Highly effective students are not born effective. They become effective. And the real difference between an average student and a highly effective one is not intelligence. It is habits. Habits shape how you use your time, how you manage your energy, how you approach challenges, and how you respond when things become difficult. These habits are not secret techniques known only to toppers. They are simple patterns of behavior that anyone can build. Today on the Growth Compass, let's explore 7 habits of highly effective students. Habits that can transform not only how you study, but also how you approach life. Because the habits you build as a student often become the habits that shape your future. Habit 1, they respect their time. Highly effective students understand something very early. Time is their most valuable resource. Once it passes, it never returns. They don't wait for motivation. They don't wait for the perfect mood. And they don't depend on sudden bursts of inspiration. Instead, they create a simple structure for their day. It might be a basic routine, a small study schedule, or just a clear idea of what needs to be completed today. The schedule doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. Because when your day has structure, your mind has direction. Students who respect their time are not necessarily studying 10 hours a day. But when they study with intention. They understand that consistency beats intensity. And over weeks and months, that consistency quietly builds powerful results. Habit 2, they focus on one thing at a time. In a world full of distractions, focus has become a rare skill. Many students try to study multiple subjects at once. They jump between notes, videos, and messages. But effective students understand something important. The human brain is not designed for deep multitasking. Real learning requires concentration. So instead of trying to study everything at once, they choose one thing, one chapter, one concept, one problem. They give their full attention to that task. When it is complete, they move to the next. This habit reduces overwhelm. It increases clarity, and it allows the brain to process information more deeply. Progress does not come from doing many things halfway. It comes from doing a few things properly. Habit 3, they build a distraction-proof environment. Highly effective students do not rely only on willpower. They understand that environment shapes behavior. If your phone is beside you, notifications will interrupt you. If your study space is cluttered, your mind will feel scattered. So instead of constantly fighting distractions, they remove them. Phones are placed out of reach. Notifications are silenced. Study spaces are clean and simple. There are fewer visual distractions. This may sound like a small adjustment, but it has a powerful impact. When your environment supports focus, discipline becomes much easier. In many cases, success is not about stronger willpower. It is about smarter preparation. Habit 4, they chase small daily. Wins many students wait for big breakthroughs. They imagine that one day everything will suddenly make sense. But highly effective students approach learning differently. They chase small wins. One topic understood, one formula memorized, one practice question solved, one page revised. Each small step may seem insignificant, but these small victories build momentum. Momentum builds confidence, and confidence encourages consistency. Over time, these daily wins compound into significant progress. Great academic success is rarely the result of a single heroic effort. More often, it is the result of hundreds of small efforts repeated over time. Habit 5, they review what they learn. One of the biggest differences between average and exceptional students is how they review information. Many students study something once and then move on, but highly effective students revisit what they learned, even if it is just for a few minutes. At the end of the day, they look back at what they studied. They go through key ideas again. They check whether they truly understood the concept. This simple habit strengthens memory because the brain remembers what it revisits. Without revision, most information fades quickly. But when learning is reinforced regularly, it moves into long-term memory. Sometimes even 5 minutes of review can make a huge difference. Habit 6. They manage their energy, not just their time. Many students believe studying longer hours automatically leads to better results. But effective students understand something deeper. Productivity is not only about time, it is about energy. A tired mind struggles to focus. An exhausted brain absorbs very little information. So highly effective students protect their energy. They get enough sleep. They take short breaks between study sessions. They move their bodies. They eat properly. They avoid spending hours late at night scrolling through endless content. Instead of forcing themselves to study when their mind is drained, they learn when their mind works best. Time may be limited, but energy can be renewed. And students who manage their energy wisely often outperform those who only count hours. Habit 7. They focus on progress, not perfection. One of the biggest obstacles for many students is the pressure to be perfect. They delay studying because they feel unprepared. They hesitate to attempt difficult questions because they fear mistakes. They compare themselves constantly with others. But highly effective students approach learning with a different mindset. They do not chase perfection, they chase progress. They understand that mistakes are part of learning. They understand that improvement happens gradually. And they focus on becoming slightly better each day. Better understanding, better discipline, better habits. Perfection creates fear. Progress creates growth. And growth eventually leads to excellence. Conclusion. These 7 habits are not complicated. They are simple ideas practiced consistently. Respect your time. Focus on one task at a time. Build an environment that supports concentration. Celebrate small daily wins. Review what you learn. Protect your energy. And focus on progress rather than perfection. These habits are not reserved for toppers. They are available to every student willing to practice them. And the most powerful thing about habits is that they do not transform your life overnight. They transform it quietly, day by day, choice by choice. So if you are a student watching this today, remember this. You do not need to be extraordinary to succeed, but you do need extraordinary consistency. And the habits you build today will shape the opportunities you receive tomorrow. Keep learning, keep improving, and keep growing. Because the future belongs to those who build the right habits today.